Hi everybody, thank you for watching my video. This is Lamar Townsend. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram at Lamar Townsend. Check out my website, lamartownsendtarot.com. Once again, that's lamartownsendtarot.com. Like me on Facebook, facebook.com/LamarTownsendOfficial. Follow me on Google+, check out my SoundCloud, follow me on SoundCloud. Check out my Bandcamp, listen to my music on Bandcamp, listen, or be on the lookout for my new mixtape coming out soon, actually. If I had to compare it to an artist, it would be Britney Spears in her In the Zone era, would kind of describe the feel of the mixtape I'm about to come out with now. By the way, I'm also, aside from being a tarot reader, psychic, intuitive, empath, clairaudient, clairvoyant, psychic, tarot reader, practicing astrologer. I'm also an artist and a musician, an entrepreneur. But I digress. In this video, I'm here to talk about how each zodiac sign expresses itself sexually in bed. So, if you, you know, have shy ears, maybe this video might not be for you. Alright? With that, I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to start with the zodiac sign Aquarius. I'm going to start at the top of the year. Aquarius, born between the months of January and February. Aquarius is the zodiac sign. It's an air sign. Air signs like to think and talk. So how Aquarius likes to express itself generally is by communicating, whether it be verbally, email, text, textually, like it really doesn't matter. Telepathically, Aquariuses like to talk. Aquariuses like to communicate. So how an Aquarius will express itself is, this is what I like in bed. You know what I'm saying? This is what turns me on. You know what I'm saying? What turns you on? Aquariuses like to know also about you. What turns you on? It's like a very conversational thing with Aquarius. Aquarius, when they're with someone that they really trust and they feel they can be open with in that way, sexually, Aquariuses are very open, with their desires and with with what turns them on, and stuff like that. So Aquariuses are going to be very open with their partner, their sexual partner, about what turns them on. I think that's the best way to know how an Aquarius feels about you. Whether or not you would be a hookup or something serious is like, if you're a hookup, I feel, to an Aquarius. Aquarius is like less likely to be open with you. Aquarius is like gonna kind of do the deed. Aquarius is gonna kind of let you know, no, that's not what I'm into, or yeah, I like that, but you can only go so far with an Aquarius who's just thinking of you as a hookup. An Aquarius who thinks of you as a hookup will be less likely to. By the way, I know we all think each sign is like. So we all think our sun sign is like, our being, our essence, who we are, and that's true. But we also have, other elements to our chart. So I'm born December 27th, Capricorn. I was born in the month of the Capricorn, the time frame of the Capricorn. However, I'm also a Libra moon. My Venus is in Scorpio. My rising sign is Virgo. I have a couple houses in Leo. I have my Mercury is in Sag. I have a lot of Sagittarius in my chart. I have a couple houses also in Cancer, Aries, and Pisces. Like my chart's kind of everywhere. So each zodiac sign I feel kind of relates to me. And so I think instead of like skipping to each sign to figure out, oh, what does he say about my sign, I feel like it might be more interesting actually to watch the whole video through. I digress. Aquarius, um, who is less likely, an Aquarius who is thinking of you as a hookup is less likely to be open with you about his or her sexual proclivities, and is not really most likely interested in your sexual proclivities. An Aquarius who is interested in only using and hooking up with you is just interested in getting the deed done, doesn't really care about the frivolous detail in between. Get the deed done and let's move on. We don't even have to talk afterwards. Like, that's an Aquarius. However, an Aquarius who's interested in you, an Aquarius who's interested in you is going to know what you're into sexually. An Aquarius who's interested in you is going to want to communicate what they're into sexually. You know, what new things they maybe even want to try. They may even ask you what new things you want to try. Like, an Aquarius is also very an adventurous sign. Aquarius likes to try new things. Aquarius likes to teach their sexual partners, new things. So that is an Aquarius sign for you. I feel like an Aquarius sign is also one of the signs less likely to engage in a one night stand. And if an Aquarius is going to engage in a one night stand, an Aquarius will have like it's gonna you an Aquarius male or female is gonna really assess this person before you decide to bring them home, or go to their home or what so have you. You know, to bring them back to the hotel or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're going to really assess, you're going to really mentally take notes of this person. You're going to really assess this person out by communicating with this person and asking this person questions, you know what I'm saying? And seeing where the conversation goes, you know, and seeing what they come back with, what they fire back at you. You know, like, that's how an Aquarius is going to think, okay? Aquarius. We are going to move now on to Aries. Aries is a fire sign, one of the cardinal signs, actually. Cardinal signs are the signs of the initiators. The other cardinal signs are Capricorn, Libra, and Cancer. Um, Aries is a very spontaneous sign. Aries is very dominant. Aries is, I want you and I want you now. Aries kind of doesn't care where they are. They can be in the car. They could be in the middle of the hotel hallway. They could be in the bathroom. You know, they could be out in the forest, on the sidewalk. I mean, if an Aries is horny, they want to do it now. You know, find the quickest place that we can hide, and just do it. You know, Aries is also the sign that's like self-absorbed. They like attention, so Aries might be the type of sign that might be an exhibitionist. So they might like people watching them having sex or something like that. Or they just might like to have sex on the open. Aries is a very passionate sign. So when they do have sex, it's very passionate. It can be sometimes be very quick, and then it's like right afterwards, it's like it never happened. You know, it's like you see the side of Aries that like it's like such a turn on, and then like in an instant, as soon as you know the deed is done, it's like, you know, it's like they go back to the mellow, calm, you know, person. You know, it's like, well, wait, where did that person go? You know, that's an Aries. You know, it's because, you know, they're low-key a very sexual sign, especially Venus and Aries, Aries sun, and Aries rising. They're a very sexual sign, but it's like only really prominent when they're really horny. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise it just comes off as they're just like always mad about something, or just snippy, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just that's just their nature, is that they're just very dominant and snippy, and you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, just very kind of fiery and hot-headed all the time, you know? Um, and that's partly true, but like, it's like a different side of Aries comes out when sex is involved. Um, Aries is also the type of sign where an Aries who sees you as a hookup, once again, it's going to be kind of the same type of passion. However, the passion may be a little bit like forced. It may be a little bit like unbelievable, or the Aries might be putting on a little bit just to get what he or she wants from you. You know, so if he or she wants a sex, if all he or she wants is sex, you know, Aries is gonna kind of tell you everything you want to hear, you know, in your ear, kind of speak sweet nothings. It's going to be passionate. It's going to be dominant. And, you know, they may win you over. And if they don't win you over, they're going to be very mad, and angry. But if they do win you over, you're going to do the deed. It's going to be passionate. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be hot. It's going to be sexy. It's going to be everything. But then right after, it's like, you know, it never happened. It's like, okay, you know, next, you know, next thing. That's how an Aries is. And for some signs, especially water signs, that can be kind of hurtful, because it can kind of be like, wow, okay, did my sex mean nothing to you? Did all that emotion and passion mean nothing to you? Especially Aries men. Um, so that's an Aries man. How an Aries male or female will express himself sexually in bed. Of course, an Aries female, once again, it depends on your preferences. You know, whether you like same sex or different sex. An Aries female may still be fiery and in your face, but they also may have that submissive side to them where it's like, okay, like, I'll be submissive to you if you show me you're dominant enough or something like that. Like Aries likes dominance either way. Next we're gonna move into Taurus. Taurus is the sign of the Earth sign. Taurus deals with the Earth, the material world. Taurus is also ruled by the planet Venus. Venus rules the planets Taurus and Libra. Venus is also the planet of love, passion, sex, sexuality, stuff like that. That's why a lot of times you find that people relate the Venus sign to love, passion, and sex. So Taurus, that's the planet you're ruled by, love, passion, and sex. That's why love and sex and stuff like that is so meaningful to you. It means so much to you because that's your essence. You just love. You love to be loved. You love to love people, whether it's friends or family. You love to treat people, with love. Especially the people you love. Like you just love. You love the material world. So you love like find that a lot of Tauruses love flowers and they love like just the decoration in the room has to be right, for a Taurus. Like the candles have to be going. If you like, candles, the music has to like the mood has to be right for a Taurus to have sex. You know what I'm saying? Like the mood just has to be right. The details have to be there. Um, it's all about the mood when it comes to Taurus. The mood just has to be right. If the mood's right, you can get a Taurus to do anything. Um, it's all about the mood. It's all about the atmosphere. It's all about the decor. It's all about, you know, does this atmosphere, does this space make the tourist feel comfortable? When you're in a space tourist, it's like, am I comfortable in this space? Am I comfortable enough to have sex in this space? Am I comfortable enough to open myself up, in that way in this space? So it's all about space and decor and atmosphere and when it comes to an ambiance when it comes to Taurus, everything just has to be right. Taurus is also the sign that you guys love to cuddle afterwards, and that's also partly why the atmosphere has to be important, because Tauruses are thinking ahead. We're gonna do the deed, but then what about after? The atmosphere has to be right for after as well. So Tauruses are thinking ahead. You want your partner to be comfortable. Tauruses, a lot of the times I feel like you don't want your partner to leave after you. You want your partner to be comfortable enough with one night stands, especially like you just don't want your partner to leave. A Taurus who sees you as a one night stand, maybe actually be a little bit more curt and may be like, I'm sorry you can't stay tonight. You know what I'm saying? And they may use the excuse of, they just may make some excuse. I feel like that deals with the atmosphere. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't stay here tonight. My roommate, comes in every now and then, like, so, something like that, some kind of BS excuse, as to why you can't stay with them. A Taurus that values you and likes you will want you to stay with them after sex. A Taurus that sees you as a one night stand really won't put in any effort into getting you into bed either. Taurus who only wants you for sex really won't put in any too much effort in other than into, are we doing this or not? Are we gonna have sex or not? They're another sign that doesn't like the frivolities, or you know what I'm saying. I'm making up words, but they don't like the frivolous nonsense in between. Um, getting the deed done. It's like, let's just get the deed done and move on. We both know what we want. Taurus may not be too upfront with their feelings. It's like Taurus may not be like, look, this is just about sex for me. I'm not looking for a relationship with you. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Taurus may not say that, but that's may be how Taurus is feeling. However, Taurus may go through with it just because Taurus wants to get off. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so Taurus may be prone to using people. Libra's kind of the same way. Once again, it's because Taurus needs to be loved. You need to be loved. You need to be wanted. You know what I'm saying? You love that. So I would just kind of check that, Taurus. However, great sign in bed. Okay. Gemini. Moving on to Gemini. Those born between May and June. Gemini is the sign of duality, the sign of the twins. It's an air sign. It's another sign that likes to talk and communicate in bed. So you're gonna want to talk about what you desire. You know what you want. You're gonna want to know what your partner wants to talk about. You're gonna want to talk before sex. You're gonna want to talk during. You're gonna want to talk after sex. You're gonna go to sleep and then you're gonna wake up and you're gonna talk again. You know, that's like a Gemini. You guys just love to talk. Geminis are also kind of the freaks of the zodiac. Geminis can sometimes be promiscuous. Um, Sometimes we're Aquarius. I find can sometimes be the sign of repressed or suppressed bisexuals. Because Aquarius is think way too much, you know, and like I find Aquariuses grow up in conservative households, so they can sometimes be the very repressed, suppressed bisexual air sign. I find a lot of Geminis can sometimes be openly bisexual, be openly pansexual, be openly whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever they are. Um, and I love that. Geminis can sometimes be very sexually open. Marilyn Monroe was a Gemini, and she was known as a sex symbol and being very sexually open. In fact, I want to say she kind of started. She was one of the pioneers of the sexual movement. So Geminis can sometimes be the low key freaks of the zodiac sign. Um, Geminis like to try new things in bed. Geminis can also be the sign of duality, so they can be manipulative. They can sometimes use sex as a manipulation tool. So be careful of that with Geminis. Geminis just like to try new things. Geminis can sometimes tend to have a lot of sexual partners. Geminis can sometimes have an addiction to wanting multiple sexual partners. Like Geminis kind of just love sex. Geminis love to be wanted. They love the touch and feel and the sweatiness, you know, and the hotness. Like they just love the passion of it all. And then they love to talk about it afterwards, you know. So how was that for you? You know what I'm saying? Did you enjoy that? You know, I enjoyed it. You know, light a cigarette, you know, and just talk. You know what I'm saying? Like that. That's a Gemini. Um, just a very communicative sign, you know. And for some people, that's cool. You know, for some people, um, like a Capricorn like myself, some people don't like to talk that much during sex. You know, so for sex, it's just like let's get it done. Cancer is the next sign. Cancer is of a water sign. Cancer is a very nurturing sign, so they can be very nurturing during sex. Cancer is a sign of pillow talk. Cancers love pillow talk, so they love to talk afterwards about. So how was your day? You know what I'm saying? They love that emotional pillow talk. You know what I'm saying? Like having that meaningful talk after sex. Like that's such a Cancer. That's up a Cancer's alley. You know what I'm saying? Cancers. It's another sign like Taurus where the atmosphere has to be right. Like a Cancer's home is really important to them. A Cancer's bedroom is really important to them. Like that's a Cancer's sanctuary, especially like a Cancer who you know is in a relationship. Like the bedroom is a sanctuary. The bedroom is where a lot of transformation takes place for the Cancer, especially with sex. Sex can be a very meaningful thing for Cancer. Cancers can sometimes be the low-key freaks of the zodiac as well. Cancers can sometimes be the very lustful sign. Cancers can sometimes have crushes on people. And you'll never know with a Cancer. You'll never know a Cancer will have a crush on you until, like, it'll sometimes, at some point, it'll peek out, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, Cancer will slip up, and show their true feelings towards you. But you'll never sometimes know that Cancer may have the biggest, most lustful crush on you, and they may be thinking the dirtiest thoughts about you. And a Cancer could be in a relationship, male or female, but there could be someone at work who is so cute and so fine and so beautiful and gorgeous, and Cancer could have the most secret lustful relationship, sexual relationship with that person in their head, and that person will never ever know. That's like a Cancer. Cancers are the low-key freaks of this. They're freaks in their head, but they're very conservative with it. Once again, because their homes is their sanctuary. So when they venture out from their homes, Cancers can sometimes be very timid and insecure because it's their home is what they're used to. Their home is their safe place. You know what I'm saying? Um, so you get a Cancer in their home, you get a Cancer in their comfort zone where they're comfortable, and you'll see that real side, that freaky, lustful, sexual, sensuous side of the Cancer come out, and it's really hot actually. It's a different side of the Cancer, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Aries, where it's like a different side of Aries comes out when an Aries is horny. And it's like a different side of Cancer comes out when a Cancer is horny. Like Cancer from a day-to-day life can be very timid and emotional and very not talkative. But you get them in a room alone, and it's like, oh, all bets are off. Rip your clothes off and let's get it done right now, honey. Like Cancers are like really freaky, but they just have to be comfortable. That's a Cancer for you. Yes, Cancer. Leo. Leo, another fire sign. Leo is the sign. Leos love attention. Leos, you guys are attention seekers. So Leo's going to be very, hey, look at what I can do. Hey, look at how big this is. Hey, look at how big these are. Hey, look at what I can do with my booty. Like, that's like how a Leo is going to be. Hey, look how hot I look, with my cleavage showing, and my thong on, and my Victoria's Secret see-through robe. You know what I'm saying? Like Leo loves attention, and Leo's gonna like control and manipulate you with seeking attention. They're gonna control every detail of themselves. They're gonna control your perception of them. They're gonna control you in that way by getting your attention, by keeping your attention. You know what I'm saying? Um, Leos love attention. Leos love to also secretly be dominated. However, they won't show you that. They won't tell you that, and that's how you can kind of know if a Leo is interested in just hooking up with you, or if an Leo has deeper feelings for you. If they show you that submissive side of themselves during sex, then they have deeper feelings for you. If a Leo is just very, hey, look at me, look at what I can do, um, bang, 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 get it done, and it's like, pat you on the butt, good work, and leave. Like that's a Leo who just sees you for sex. A Leo who kind of values you is gonna kind of be intimidated by you. It's gonna be A Leo's gonna be intimidated by you. A Leo is gonna be very, very cautious. Less. Hey, look at me. Do anything for attention, and more cautious, and thinking more of ways to get your attention, ways to turn you on. Because with a Leo, um, Leos tend to fall for people who are very dominant and who have something very powerful about them, like some power over them, and that kind of causes Leos to kind of whimper and become that little cat inside of them, that they're big lion hearts, and it's really a sight to see. It's a different side of Leo once again. It's like once again Leo goes from that loud, roarous, look at me lion to you know a sweet, soft little kitty. It's very cute, Leo, in that way. But regardless, Leos are very passionate in sex, very dominant people. Um, Losing control for them can be a very transformative event, a transformative experience. Losing control in sex, letting someone dominate you, Leo. Trying new things, Leo. I feel like that can be a very transformative experience. Feel like that could show you losing control a little bit in general. I feel like could be when it comes to sex, just a little bit, Leo. Could be very good for you. So there you go. There is Leo, Virgo. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign. Virgo is the sign of the Virgin. Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury. I'm not saying you guys are virgins. You guys are far from it, actually. You guys are very freaky. Some of you. Some of you not so much, and that's okay. Um, Virgos can sometimes be very vanilla, straightforward people when it comes to sex. It's like get the job done. For Virgos, some Virgos, it's like what's more important is what happens outside of sex. Like sex is a thing that happens, yes, like it's a wonderful thing. It's passion, it's excitement. It's a transformative experience. But for Virgos, it's like sex happens, they get the deed done, and it's like, okay, back to reality. You know what I'm saying? In that way, it's like Virgos can sometimes be very inexperienced or come off very inexperienced when it comes to sex because they're the sign of the Virgin. Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury. So Mercury rules the planets Gemini and Virgo. So Virgo and Gemini are ruled by the same planets. Alright, so here we have Virgo. On this side, we have Virgo, ruled by the planet Mercury, who is the sign of the Virgin. And then on this side, we have Gemini, ruled by the same planet. Geminis, if you look earlier, I said Geminis can sometimes be promiscuous. So it's like, yin and yang, you know what I'm saying? Um, I feel like maybe that's where Virgos could learn a little bit from their Mercury brethrens and sistrins. Is learning to be a little bit more open, a little bit more promiscuous, a little bit more adventurous in sex, Virgos, because Virgos can be very straight to the point, get it done, don't touch me there, don't go there, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of how a Virgo can be. A Virgo's also like clean sex, so, you have to be clean, no dirtiness, no smelliness, like Virgos, that's not going to turn a Virgo on. Um, any sight of smelliness or uncleanliness is going to actually send a Virgo straight packing out the door. How can you tell if a Virgo only sees you for sex or wants something deeper? Well, I feel like a Virgo who sees you for sex, um, I feel like Virgos is once again the sign like Aquarius who really isn't going to entertain anyone too much who they only see as someone that they're just going to use for sex. For Virgo, it's like that's too much work, like before than it's worth. You know what I'm saying? Like to go out of my way to, have to force conversation with this person that I only plan on having sex with, a few times. Like Virgos, I feel like a search for something deeper, something more meaningful. Um, However, a Virgo who only wants you for sex is it's another one of those signs who's going to tell you what you want to hear. Virgos are very secretive in that way. Um, Virgo is also the sign that asks a lot of questions. So, I assume a Virgo who's very interested in you. Uh, who sees you as something deeper than sex is going to ask you more meaningful questions like, so where do you see yourself in 10 years? Are you looking for a family? Are you looking to get married? You know what I'm saying? Like, if a Virgo's not asking you those questions, if a Virgo, like, pay attention to the questions Virgo asks. Like, if a Virgo is asking only sex-based questions, then that's kind of how the Virgo sees you as someone just for sex. If a Virgo is asking more solid-based, meaningful questions, you know what I'm saying? Long-term questions rather than, like, short-term, right-now questions, um, then, you know, um, know that Virgo sees you as something more than just sex. Um, Also, take note to, like, if a Virgo, like, if you're interested in a Virgo and they're just not giving you play, then that probably means that that Virgo is just not interested in you. Because once again, Virgo is one of those signs where they're just not going to entertain someone that they're just not interested in. So that's the sign of Virgo. Libra. Libra moon here. Hello. Libra is the sign of the people pleaser. So Libras like to please you in bed. What do you like? What turns you on? That's what a Libra likes. However, Libra, remember, is also the sign of the scale. So Libra is one of those signs that has the hidden motive. So they're gonna be all about you. They're gonna come off all about you. Meanwhile, behind their back, their fingers are crossed, and they're secretly wishing and hoping that you do what they want in bed. And it's kind of like, well, I did this for you. You have to do this for me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how Libra can be. Um, or I did this for you, now I want you to do this for me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how Libra can be. Libra can be a little bit manipulative in that way. Hey, I'm a Libra moon here. I have to, tell it like it is. I can definitely be that way, I'm sure. If you ask some of my partners, please don't ask them. Um, I'm sure they'd say that. Some of them. Who cares? Doesn't matter. So Libra can sometimes be manipulative, have hidden motives. Libra, however, is definitely going to make sure please you. Once again, it's like Taurus. It's all about the sign of love and passion. It wants to make sure that you're okay. A Libra, the mood has to be right for Libra. The atmosphere, the candles, all that type of stuff. Like it's super important to Libra. Libra is the sign that Libra and Taurus both are the signs that they're gonna shower before sex, and they're gonna make sure they smell good, and they're gonna make sure that they put on cologne, and they're gonna really get prepared for the moment. The moment's really important to them. It's kind of like almost like a job interview. It's like, they have to get dressed, and they just kind of have to play the part, because they want to please you. Like Libra especially wants to please you. It's a people pleaser. Um, um, Libra's also the sign that it's an air sign, so it's going to be communicative about what it wants, what it desires. But once again, Libra's going to also be a little bit hidden. It's the sign of the scales, so it may not be fully forthright. Libra may not be fully forthright about what they want or what they desire. Libra may not be fully forthright about what they will or will not do. I'm busy! The next sign is the sign of Scorpio. So, Scorpio is actually the sign of darkness and sexuality. So, Scorpios love sex. Scorpios express themselves. Scorpio is the sign where, like, Scorpio may be into, like, leather or stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like tying each other up. You know what I'm saying? Like Scorpio's into that type of stuff. Scorpio wants everything. Wants your all. In bed. Scorpio wants to please you. Scorpio wants to sex to be the most best experience for you and them. You know what I'm saying? Like, just Scorpio sex is super important. It's like a really transforming emotional and spiritual experience, connection. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's meaningful for Scorpio. For Scorpio uses sex. It wants to know all about what turns you on. What turns you on? But like, what parts of your body are the parts that when I touch them or when I kiss them, you kind of lose control. Like what are your ticks? What are your weak spots? Like that's Scorpio. Scorpio wants to know your secrets in bed. Scorpio wants to know, and through knowing your secrets in bed, Scorpio learns more about you. So Scorpio uses sex as kind of a way to learn more about you. And Scorpio's big on pleasing in bed. So Scorpio will definitely please you. Scorpios are great in bed. Um, One of the most sexual signs, and one of the most sought after signs, actually. Um, so that is the sign of Scorpio, and we're going to move on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, a fire sign. Sagittarius is the sign that is very, once again, spontaneous. They like freedom. So Sagittarius doesn't really like to be tied down when it comes to sex. They may like a lot of sexual partners. Once again, Sagittarius is like Aries in the way of like when they're horny. It doesn't matter if they're in the car, the forest, the sidewalk, the hotel lobby, the church, parking lot, like if a Sagittarius is horny, a Sagittarius is gonna do it, In fact, like doing things like doing it in the church parking lot may even turn the Sagittarius on. Like Sagittarius love new things. They love to shoot towards the stars and shoot towards new goals and shoot towards new things. Like Sagittarius just loves to shoot their like swords just everywhere and see what sticks. So Sagittarius, maybe the sign where it's like they've never had bisexual tendencies, but they meet that one person that's like, that opens them up to, that side of themselves, and they have that one rendezvous with that person, but so you'll never know, because Sagittarius will never tell you, That's like Sagittarius. They do spontaneous things like that, where it's like, you know what, I'm gonna have sex with this person once and never mention it again. Um, Sagittarius also tends to have, um, may tend to have a list of booty calls that they call, like of some, for some Sagittarius it could be that they have a list of booty calls of different genders. So you could have a list of booty calls of male and female. Like Sagittarius doesn't matter. Sagittarius is like to be free. They like to try new things. Um, you guys love trying new things with your partners, your sexual partners. You're very spontaneous in bed, very spontaneous in bed, very hilarious, the hilarious sign. So they like to joke about sex. They like to joke about the things that they like and, you know what I'm saying, and don't like. So they kind of turn it into a joke, kind of, but it's like a jokey, sexual kind of turn on kind of way. I don't know. Sagittarius have that kind of jokey thing down to a T. You know what I'm saying? That sarcastic thing down to a T. So they could be very sarcastic in bed. I'm going to move on now to Capricorn. Capricorn is the sign of disciplines. Capricorn is ruled by the planet Saturn. Saturn is the father figure of the sky, I guess, which makes Capricorn the father figure of the zodiac. And with Capricorn, the father figure, Cancer is the mother figure. I digress. Capricorns can be very stern and diplomatic, and that comes out also during sex. They can be very dominant. Once again, they have a cardinal sign, one of the cardinal signs of the zodiac. So Capricorns tend to be very dominant in bed. Capricorns, you find a lot of the times, a different side of Capricorns can come out in bed. It's like Capricorns can be very standoffish and arrogant and kind of uppity, and quiet, in real life. But you get them in a room behind closed doors, honey. It's like it's one of those signs, once again, where all bets are off when they're horny. It's like a completely different side of Capricorns come out, male or female. Capricorns are secretly very sexual creatures. For Capricorns, sex is sex is a very interesting thing for Capricorn. Sex is about power for Capricorn. It's about power. Um, So Capricorns are going to be very dominant. They express themselves dominantly. Once again, they're not talkers. Instead of telling you what they're going to do, they're just going to do it. They're just going to show you. You know what I'm saying? Um, Capricorns can sometimes, they're the sign that can get you to try new things, get you to do new things in bed that you thought you could never do, or never dreamed of doing, Um, Capricorns are the sign that in the bedroom they can make you trust them. Capricorn is the sign that you can trust in the bedroom. Um, they're the father figures, so you know, very male, dominant energy, from Capricorn in the bedroom. They're very dominant in the bedroom. And last but not least, the sign of Pisces, another duality sign. Pisces, I find, is the sign that Pisces likes to kind of do sexual things in secret. So once again, Pisces may be the sign that I have to call it like it is. Pisces may be the sign that likes to cheat, in secret. Pisces is also the sign that tends to have a lot of kind of suppressed bisexuals, but it's kind of weird because they might be suppressed or repressed, but they're still sexually active, like with the same sex. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's weird. They may not be totally out of the closet, but they still like to fool around with the same sex, or they still like to have sex with the same sex. I find a lot of times with Pisces. Pisces may also have a lot of different sexual partners. And Pisces also may have a lot of different emotional ties to these people, almost to the detriment of Pisces. So Pisces, what I want to advise for you is to actually keep sexual partners to a minimum, especially if you know you're going to get emotionally attached to people. However, Pisces, how you're going to express yourself, much in the way of Libra, you're going to want to please your partners. You're going to want to please people and make people feel good in bed. Make people feel good sexually. You're gonna want to make sure people, get off, and get what they need, in bed. It's not all about just you, Pisces. You also love to feel the touch, the sensualness of someone dominant. You know what I'm saying? Like Pisces are attracted to dominant people. Most of the time because Pisces can sometimes feel a little weak. So you guys like that dominance in bed. You like sometimes people to take control in bed, male or female. Pisces may also be the type of sign that likes to experiment, try new things. So three ways, bringing a third party into bed, types of stuff like that. Pisces may also be free with your sexuality. So you may not. You may be the type that walks around your apartment naked, or you know what I'm saying, like something like that. Or takes nude photos or stuff like that. Like, or you find nude photos beautiful. Or you might even have like nude photos around your apartment or something like that. Like in Scorpio, like you find sex beautiful. Like dark. You find stuff like that wonderful. Like you live in that world. Pisces lives in partially in the spirit underworld realm and here in the physical, much like Scorpio. So that is how each zodiac sign expresses itself sexually. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was a long one. I just went right through each sign, and try to do my best sum up of how each sign will express itself in bed. This is a very general, um, I guess, a video or a summation of how each sign is. Of course, I could get deeper into how each sign really likes to get it on in bed, but this is a very general video. That is generally how each sign will express itself sexually in bed. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Once again, check out my website, lamartownsendtarot.com, to book your own personal reading. Like me on Facebook, facebook.com/lamartownsendofficial. Follow me on Instagram at lamartownsend. And check out my SoundCloud, my Bandcamp page, and keep in touch, okay? Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. And wrap it up. Safe sex is the best way to go. If you don't want to get pregnant and if you don't want to have an STD, wrap it up, alright? Because you never know. Thank you guys for listening and watching, and have a great and awesome day, night, morning, whenever you're watching this video. See ya.